Hey everybody, just doing a bit of a what's on the table chat and just kind of talking a little bit about what's going to be coming up in September on the channel. I did finish my natives for musket and tomahawks for the Get It Painted challenge, and I'm going to be following up with a video. If I haven't done the video already, I'm either going to do that when my showcase for it, either before this video or right after, so you've either seen it or it's coming right up. And I just want to talk a little bit about what I'm doing next. I am working on my Royal Artillery, and I have to varnish it, but I pretty much finished the cannon. And so this is the cannon. Now, I did debate a bit on whether I should do the oxidation on the barrel itself. I've never used it before. I actually opened it for this, but I do have some of the Citadel technical paint. I don't even think I can pronounce that, Nihilac oxide. Personally, I'm not a big fan of using a lot of the oxide. Like, my understanding would be that in most cases that's just a kind of like a form of rust for brass, and in most cases, you know, if something's being used a lot or taken care of, you know, I'm not expecting it to be completely green, you know, and in operation, or bluish green or whatever this is. I know I see lots of pictures of cannons that have just been sitting there forever and they're just basically covered in it. I prefer the look even without probably the oxidation. Like, I like a nice shiny brass cannon, and I think for the next cannon I do that'll be a small cannon. I'm actually going to do it as if it's something just put into operation, like a newer one. But I actually wanted to test out and do some of the oxidation look. I used my 000 Winsor Newton, like the smallest brush I could find, and I just put a little bit in the recesses, just to show little bits of oxidation starting to happen, and I'm kind of happy with that as the look, like it's being out and well used and out in the elements. I actually like that. I think it looks kind of good at a distance. It's a bit of a realistic look. So I'm pretty happy with the way this came out. It's funny, I looked a bit up on cannons on Wikipedia and on the internet, and the funny thing is there's a lot of information out there, but when you first start to look, there isn't really, it isn't obvious in a lot of the resources you look at as to what the cannons are made of. Like, I didn't know that for this period they were typically brass, you know, and then later in time they were followed up with iron. And it's funny how much information you can get to before finding out what they're basically made of. And so it didn't take me that long, but I did have to look through quite a bit of, you know, even just operation of the cannon, and all this stuff is available, but just the basic thing of what they're made of wasn't. I guess it's supposed to be common sense, I'm not sure. But I painted this up as a brass cannon for the period, and that's why I did the oxidizing and little bits of the oxidizing. And so, yeah. So I am gonna, I'm not putting it on a base because I could do it, but in musket and tomahawks, like, I'm going to be removing guys, and that guys are going to be dying and working independently, and so I wanted it to just be the cannon that I can just put on the field just like that. So I've put a couple of layers of gloss on the areas that are touching the ground just to try to protect the paint, and then I'll have my guys that I can just put next to it or take in and out as they're killed. And so next I'll be doing the artillery themselves, and so I'll be doing them, you know, for uniforms for the time period, which instead of being red coats, they're blue, you know, and there's other colors and things in there as well. It's an interesting uniform pattern, but that'll be different for me to actually have British and blue coats, just because they are the Royal Artillery, and so that'll be neat. And beyond that, I've mentioned this before, but for September, like, my goal next after I finish these guys is to do a video. I'll do a little bit of work in progress, but then show a showcase on and how I did it on the Howling Hag from Castle Ravenloft. And then after that, I'd like to do my land speeder that I've showed a couple of times. So I'll be working on that. So that's kind of goals for September. That doesn't seem like a whole lot because I'll probably finish these guys fairly soon. One thing I just picked up at the store, I don't know if you guys have owned, how many of you guys own something like this, but I just got myself a styro cutter. I've never owned one. There's one that's, there are a number of different models out there. One of them looks like this and has some different attachments, but it's quite a bit more expensive. Like I got this with a coupon at Michael's for $20, essentially, Canadian. There are ones that go as high as $60, $70 that look similar to this online, and I didn't really want to go in for that kind of price if I could at least, if I can get success with this at this price point. That's kind of all I wanted to spend for now. There's also one that's made by Woodland Scenics, I believe, that it's also got a bar, like 2 bars on each side. I wanted the versatility to be able to use one sort of wire, thick wire, so I can maneuver a bit with it. I wasn't sure how I was going to be able to do what I need to do, because I'm mainly wanting to use this for terrain, cutting raised areas for boards and things. In particular, I'm thinking of a river project that I've mentioned for a long time. My what I'm hoping to do in September, as well as the things I mentioned to help fill in some of the time before October, is to do a disc that is the same size as the disc I used to show, or and still do, my displays of finished projects on when I have that spinning wheel. I wanted to do cut a disc of MDF to fit that exactly and do some terrain, and I want to actually test out using some water effects and have a river within it. Just a stream, actually more of a stream, because I want room to put the minis not in the stream. But I want to practice some of the water effects and things I'm planning on doing for the river terrain. And I thought it would be a good opportunity, because I thought it'd be neat to have a little display disc, and I can make it a sort of a practicing project. I'm going to practice cutting the foam and making the riverbed with the foam cutter that I just showed, as well as working with some of the materials that I've purchased for the water effects. And so I'd like to do a little disc like that for display this month as well. And I think, you know, between finishing these guys off, the land speeder, the Howling Hag, and then working on that disc, that'll take me a portion of September. I don't know whether I'll do anything more in there, but I already have a project that I'll announce later. I still have to build it for Spooky Oktoberfest, and so I'm already thinking ahead for October and joining Warboss Tay's Spooky Oktoberfest. So I've got some stuff to do that's dedicated for October. And then I have a model on order for the MAK, or the MA.K model project that Solvent Abuse is doing in November, and so I'm going to join that as well. What I can fit in between all of that, we'll see. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I think that's kind of where I'm at for the moment. So I might throw in and do some civilians, the gentlemen and ladies that I've never done for Musket Tomahawks, if I have some time in September and October. I'm kind of look forward to painting those. I don't really need them at this point for civilians, but I kind of want to have them because I have some nice civilians for horseback and not on horseback for like gentlemen and ladies of the era. And so I might, if I have time, I'll squeeze those in too. We'll see. So. All right, hope you guys are having a good week, and at this time we've just finished Labor Day weekend in 2015, and so hope you guys had a good long weekend. I worked the weekend and the holiday, so just enjoying a day off today after it. So, okay, talk to you guys later. Take care.